This is a Geek Leader. Hey you guys, welcome to episode 28 of a Geek Leader. And today I want to talk about leadership progress and how making progress towards being a better leader is really what we're all about. It's really what this whole show is about. It's what we all should be focusing on, is making that progress and not worrying about being perfect. Too many people worry about perfection. And I actually spoke at an event today on leadership, and it was an awesome event. I had a great time. And during that talk, there were some questions, and the questions were insinuating the same thing. And afterwards, I talked to some of the people, and they also kind of hinted at the same thing. And it seems to happen almost every time I give a talk about leadership. I get this thing that this is all great, this is wonderful, but I can't do those things. You know, I'm glad that you can do those things, and I'm glad that other people can do those things, but I can't do those things. There's always that one or two people that hear this talk or hear my talks, and they say, I just can't do that in my company. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And as I ask more questions and I kind of try to probe into why they feel like they can't do that, it's more like they have a lack of confidence. There's a little bit of fear behind not being able to do those things. So I wanted to address that a little bit. And I've talked about lack of confidence in previous episodes, and I've talked about getting through fear in previous episodes. But I really wanted to just hit home today that leadership is really about progress and not perfection. I heard a really smart man say that quote one time, and it just kind of hit home that, yeah, leadership really is just about progress and moving forward. Because if you're not moving forward, if you're not leading in a way that people can follow you, if you're not making progress, they can't follow you. And all you have to do is take one step in front of the other. When my daughter was 3 and I was getting ready to speak at a conference, I wanted to get a little fresh perspective. So I asked her, what is a leader? And I didn't think she even knew what the word meant, but I kind of wanted to hear if she had any insight at all from a 3-year-old's perspective. And I said, hey, Savannah, do you know what a leader is? And she goes, yeah, Daddy, I know what a leader is. I said, what's a leader? She's like, the leader's the guy in the front of the line. And I thought about that, and I said, well, of course, that's what you're going to get from a 3-year-old. And I said, well, let me follow that up. Okay, so I said, so what do leaders do? Do you know what a leader does? And she goes, yeah, Daddy. They go where we're supposed to go. I said, you know, that's exactly right. If a leader wants anyone to follow them, they're going to go there first. And whoever's following them is going to follow up behind them. So if you're not moving forward, if you're not making progress, you're not being a leader. Now, progress can be many different things. It doesn't have to be self-improvement necessarily, although we should be trying to do that. Maybe it's group improvement. Maybe it's team improvement. Maybe it's process improvement. Whatever you're working on, you can make progress. You can make progress towards being better at something, or getting better at something, or making those around you better at something. And all that is where you get to perfection. All right? We're never going to get perfection. We know no one's perfect, right? But we have to strive towards that. And you have to use all of your focus, attention, time, and energy to move that way, because those are our expendable assets. That's what we have to work with. And the more you can put towards making progress and moving forward, the more you're going to get followers, the more people are going to want to be with you. If you're standing still, there's nowhere for people to follow. There's nowhere to go, right? But if you're moving, don't be afraid to move. That's what a lot of people they're afraid that if they try something out, it's gonna fail. And one of the things I hit on in my talk today was, just remember, anything you're trying is not permanent. It's not a permanent change. It's a temporary change. I was telling the story about how I took the cue balls down for my developers, and I didn't really ask permission to do that. It was more about, we're going to give it a try. I didn't tell my team it's a permanent thing. I said, this is a trial thing. We're going to give it a try and see how it goes. Because if I started out and say this is a permanent change, then the reception of that could be different. People don't like permanent changes. They like to give it a try, see how it works, and know that it's not permanent, and know that you can always go back. So we did that, and it's been almost 3 years now, and it's been working great. But it was just a temporary change. And many of the things that we have tried in our team, they've all started out as a temporary change. Many of them have stuck because they were successful, and we had data to back them up. Other things weren't successful, so we were able to easily flip back without any hard feelings, without any embarrassment. It's not like we made a quick logo change and didn't like it and had to come back. Publicly, it was hey, we're going to try this thing out. Get the numbers back, get the data, see how people like it, see how productive it is or whatever it is, and see if it works. It's a temporary change. And that helps take some of the fear away too. One of the things that I heard someone say a long time ago was, it's really hard to stop something once it's moving, but it's really easy to stop it before it starts. And when I think about that, I always think, how can I get something moving before someone stops me, before it gets stopped? And the easiest way to get something moving is to start it temporarily. Start it as a trial. Start it as a test, as an experiment. One of the things I tell my team is I tell them they're in my lab. They're in my lab. We're in my leadership lab. We're going to try new things. We're going to experiment and see what happens. And it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. But if you're not moving forward, if you're not taking one step in a direction that you know you need to be moving in, you're never going to have anyone follow you. You're never going to be a true leader. Because a leader doesn't just stand there. All right? They're not leading anyone if you're standing still. You've got to be moving. All right, so one of the things to remember is we'll never be perfect. We'll always be making progress towards perfection, but we'll never get there. All right, and this is a short episode today. I got through that talk, and I really wanted to say something about that because I think it's important. All right, and if you're listening to this and you've enjoyed these shows in the past and you want more, please just leave me a review on iTunes. Send me an email too. You can reach me at john@ageekleader.com. You can also go to the website and fill out the contact form. If you don't want me to have your email address for some reason, you can sign up to our newsletter on the website at geekleader.com as well. But I want to get some feedback. I want to know if you guys like the interviews that we've done in the past, if you want me to do more interviews, if you like the solo shows. So any kind of feedback you can provide would be excellent and helpful to help me figure out which direction to take this. We're on episode 28 now. 29 if you include the intro episode, which is almost unlistenable for me right now. But I made some progress. I'm still moving forward, but I want to get some feedback to figure out which direction to go. All right. And that would be awesome if you guys could just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you guys on that. I respond to any comments or anything on Twitter. And I'd love to get more of that interaction. You can find me on Twitter at John Rauda. But also, if you like this, you want to hear more, leave me a comment or a review in iTunes and hit me up at geekleader.com. Thanks a lot.